I have gone 2,000 days without drinking alcohol, and I have learned 8 lessons, and it has been absolutely eye-opening for me. And I want to share that in this video with you if you are considering life without drinking, because I will say this is bar none the greatest life hack of my entire life. Let's get into number 1. There's a dull longing across so many people in society who wish for their ability to stop drinking as much as they do. What I mean is, when I decided to stop drinking, since the very first week up until just this past weekend, when I go out, and when I'm out at bars or clubs or I'm at restaurants or whatever it is, almost without any mistake, I would say 1 out of every 5 times that I go out, when somebody discovers that I don't drink, they then find their way to me later on in the night, probably because they're a couple drinks in, or sometimes it's not. Sometimes they just do it, organically, and they tell me privately, one-on-one, that they're considering not drinking and they've been thinking about it for a while, and that they kind of wish that they could do that, and they're thinking about stepping back, and it's something that's on their mind, and it's sort of this vulnerable state of being that people feel that they can bring to me and tell me, obviously because I decided to stop drinking. So what's interesting about that is that I think when we're considering life without drinking, we think we have a problem. We think, oh God, like we're the ones in society who can't hang, and we're the alcoholics who, why can't we just drink like normal people? But what I've come to realize is that normal people that I never, knew would potentially consider life without drinking, are all considering life without drinking. They're all quietly sitting there questioning privately to themselves in their own head, is this right for me? Like, is this something that's actually serving me? Do I want to do it? And I know that because they come and talk to me about it, because I'm a person who has done it and they want insight into what that road looks like. That has been so interesting for me. So when we think that we're weird and we're alone and we're like the weirdos who are going to be there, like, no, so much more of society has this dull longing. The second thing that I've learned from 2,000 days of not drinking is that, unfortunately, people are like sheep. It's like the people are sheeple concept. Again, I really want to make this clear. I'm not judging people who drink. There are people out there who have picked that as their vice, and that works for them, and that's fine. But the majority of people out there haven't really even picked it. It's just what they're doing, because that's what everybody else does. That's what they've always done. That's what you start doing when you're in high school, and you begin then and you just go into it, and then you're in high school and you're drinking, in college and you're drinking, and you don't even actually know what you're like without drinking, because you've never even seen that side of your personality, because it's so culturally embedded in us to drink. We just do what everybody else does, and then we get this mundane version of reality. And I hate to say that, but the more and more I've lived this reality, to compared to when I did drink a lot on the weekend, and that was what I constantly did, to now where I don't drink, I've come to find that people are just doing what everybody else does, because that's what everybody else does. But you see so many people that are unhappy in their jobs, they're unhappy in their marriages, they're unhappy in their friendships. And in my opinion, it's because I think people just are going through the motions of what everybody else does. The standard American diet, which is trash. We consume the terrible stuff on TV, which is depressing. We watch the news, which sucks, and it's always about depressing things, and it's there for us to constantly worry and click it, and who's gonna have the best, clickbait. We watch content about just dumb things that aren't stimulating, and we then go on the weekends and drink. That's what everybody else does, and that's what I used to do. And then I would even top it off, because I would go be hungover and then I'd smoke weed all day, and that was my existence. And then, back at it, go to the gym, go on the hamster wheel, and we don't recognize that there's so much more to this reality. If you look at people out there that are really successful, I don't know who it could be, Tony Robbins or Oprah Winfrey, or any YouTube person that you've seen that you admire, extreme athletes that are really successful in their sport, like Michael Jordan. You look at 50 Cent, all these people, they do life differently. 50 Cent doesn't even drink. He has his own alcohol brand and he promotes it, but he doesn't drink because he knows it F's with his mentality. So people who are extremely happy and successful meaning financially, spiritually, relationship-wise, personally, they do life differently, and they are not sheeple. And that is something I found really interesting, because most people I've met who decided to stop drinking see the world that way, and they chose to stop drinking because they realize they are not the person who should be drinking, and they're totally killing their potential by doing that. Going into the third point here, there is an abundance of money out there for all of us. When I decided to stop drinking, I was 25 or 26 years old. I was working a job that was a sales job that was probably paying me a base of about $40,000. It was a startup, and everything else I made from that, you know, my own effort. My income, I kid you not, increased by 7. Not only was able to accomplish the sales, which I wasn't really confident in doing before, but then I started building the sales team. And then I became the director of sales and the head of sales at this company because I perfected the sale, and then I taught everybody else how to perfect the sale. And then I made a commission structure off of all 20, 25 people that were making the sale. I say that because my abundance in wealth that is available to me has completely transformed now from drinking to not drinking. So that's number one. The other side to this though is that I've also saved literally thousands of dollars in not drinking. When you actually think about it, and I wrote this down here, let's say go out each weekend and let's say you spend $50 a night on drinking. And I know that for me, it was usually more than that unless my boyfriend was buying, which thank you for him. And we're not dating anymore, but appreciate you. That's about $100 a weekend, okay? So you basically go in and then you decide to go and get food. So that's probably gonna be a $30 meal once you tip, and maybe it's Uber Eats or you're driving there, whatever, $30. So then you basically have $130 that you're spending that weekend just on drinks, just on food, not even considering Ubers, not even considering all the other things that come about that you need. That's gonna be about $130 multiplied by 52 weeks. That's basically $6,760 that I was spending by going out every single weekend. And again, that's at the bare minimum. A lot of nights I would drink over that because you get meals, you stay longer, you have more drinks with friends, you get drunk and you buy shots for everybody. Or, you know, it's not uncommon for people to have 12, 13 drinks a night, especially if you had a good meal. That sounds crazy, but that's what's common. I know that's probably what you've done because that's what I did. That's what all of us did. So it's probably not 50 bucks a night. It's probably well over that. So let's just say $6,760. If you multiply that by 2, that's gonna be around $13,000 that you're saving. Now combine that with the amount of money that you then can make that I made just by having a clear mind and being able to actually, you know, create the career that I wanted. My income multiplied by 7, it increased by 7, and I saved thousands of dollars just not going out. So the abundance factor in terms of wealth is huge. The fourth point is that I can now actually trust myself. And I can't say that I could do that before. When I was going out drinking, I wasn't 100% sure that I wasn't going to, you know, get emotional about something with my boyfriend. I wasn't 100% sure that I wasn't gonna act a fool. It got to the point where, you know, I wasn't super confident that I wasn't gonna go out and say something that maybe was a little bit extreme, or that I wasn't gonna drink too much, or that I was gonna come home at a good time, or that I wasn't gonna embarrass myself, or whatever it was. Like, I feel like now when I go in social environments, I am absolutely there, and I am like 100% I've got myself. Like, I know I'm good, and when I'm in that environment, I'm gonna be good. I know that when I leave, I'm gonna have left a great impression. But genuinely, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can trust myself, and I couldn't do that before. I would almost like go into these nights, be like, okay, like, I hope I don't do anything like, ooh, shitty tonight. Like, I hope I don't say anything. And it's like, what a lame existence that is. Like, that sucks, man. You always have to go into situations, even if it's on a subconscious level, like to feel like that about anything, but especially yourself. Like, wow, that sucks. So when I stopped drinking, there's this new confidence. It's a quiet confidence because I know I can trust myself. I know I will do what I say when I say I will do it. I know I will, you know, wake up when I say I will. I will be somewhere when I say I will. I will keep a secret when I say I will. I won't say things that are complainy, and I won't talk shit. I won't cry for any stupid reason. Like, I can trust myself. And that's not something that I had before. And I think that might be one of the biggest factors that's contributed to a massive amount of confidence that's accumulated since then. And when I talk with people who have also, you know, stopped drinking and, you know, considering like, what did they learn? They say that is one of their top points as well, for sure. The fifth point, strong friendships. Oh my God, this was huge. Before I decided to stop drinking, I was low-key insecure about my friendships, and it wasn't because I didn't have great friends. I felt a void. Quick one here, you guys. So you know I don't share anything with you that I don't personally use myself, and I want to share the sponsor of this video today. That is Salty. If you are somebody who is transitioning into a carnivore lifestyle or animal-based, or even if you're somebody who drinks, you know I don't drink, but there's a lot of people on here who do drink, and they want an electrolyte to be able to recover. Highly, 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 highly recommend salty. I have used these guys literally since the get. I actually met them in person before they blew up and everything got super popular. But the reason I like this brand, it's very real, good source products. As you know, I trail run. I go on long hikes. I go on long bikes. I go on long adventures. I camp. I travel the world. I do all these different things. And for me, I like to get something that is as basic as possible. There's not a ton of ingredients that are kind of like mutating it, and Salty does that. It's very authentic. If you click the link below, you'll be able to get it discounted right there. They have tons of other options on there too, different flavors, different ways of consuming electrolytes. I just like these ones specifically because they come in pill form. And so when I'm traveling and I'm out and about, I would never take this many, but I have a lot that I can pull from. So go check out the website. I hope that you find something on there that you like, and let's get back to the show. But since I stopped drinking, I attract the best freaking friendships. And this is a thing right now. People in society are lonely. We are lonely in society. When I stopped drinking, I had this ability to start attracting people around me who I think were more like me. And I think I was better. So I was bringing in better because I was showing up better for these people. So you kind of get what you put out there. To this day, 80% of the people in my life do drink. So it's not like everybody I attract doesn't drink, not even close. There's no judgment on them for drinking and no judgment on me. It's not like that. Like, I'm not better than them. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that I think a lot of where I socialized was at the bars or going and getting drinks. And, you know, we have to call it as it is. Like, when we're doing that, yes, it's bonding as things are cool about it. But if that's what you do to socialize with your friends and that's where you get your hang time, then over the years, that's gonna fall flat because there's lack of depth in there. There just is. There's just a lack of depth because alcohol spikes dopamine and it makes you think that you're having a great time and you're bonding with somebody. But I could have been staring at a wall and been excited and felt really connected when I was drinking because the dopamine receptors just fly off. And so for me, when I was myself and I felt like myself and I was able to kind of have this quiet, you know, confidence, I guess, I've been able to attract the people that are like that. And it's incredible. The sixth point is that people's potential in general, I feel, is absolutely thwarted by their relationship to alcohol because that's how mine was. Alcohol is a depressant. It brings people's vibrations down, right? So when you drink alcohol, it's just a poison. Objectively speaking, just like processed foods are poison. And there are some people out there who have a higher tolerance for it, right? Alcohol at its core is a depressant. And so what that means is it lowers our vibration. What does it mean when it lowers our vibration? We vibrate, our body, everything in us, our thoughts vibrates at a lower, slower level. And so everything kind of slows, and that can make us feel sad and bummed. It can make us not go to the gym. It makes us not do the project. It makes us not go out and have fun with the friends and go on the bike ride and wake up early and do the project and do the workout and go meet the new people and start the new career and start the YouTube channel and start our own coaching business. We don't do it because our vibration is low because we're recovering a lot of the time. Even if it's been 3 days since we drank, you're still recovering. Things compound, you know, and that's something that I saw for myself is my potential, my true real ass potential, not just like in success, but like personal relationships, love, you know, potential of like romantic relationships was absolutely being thwarted by my relationship to alcohol. And, you know, I think this is why so many people out there on an emotional and spiritual level struggle. I know I did, because we don't see it like that. It's such a common thread in our society. It's so embedded in everything we do, every work event we go to, every family gathering, every friendship hangout, every weekend event. Alcohol is present. And if you have 1 or 2 beers, it's not that big of a deal, right? If you have a few mixed drinks, it's not that big of a deal, right? Well, it is. Because think about how you feel when you smoke a cigarette and you've never had a cigarette. Think about how you feel when you take just a little tiny baby pill. It's an antibiotic. And how that changes your body's chemistry. You know, think about how you feel if you take 1 hit of weed and what that does to your body, how that affects your mind. Alcohol is no different, but we just are so socialized to alcohol. We're so used to it that we don't see how much that actually is affecting us day to day, week to week level. The 7th point, my real actual personality actually came out. What I mean is, I didn't even realize that I am somebody who's not anxious. I don't actually have an anxious personality as a set point, but I was on antidepressants for anxiety for a decade. I was on Prozac for 10 years because of anxiety. I don't actually have an anxious personality. It was because of the hormones every single weekend trying to restabilize that I had an anxious personality. You know, I'm much more intelligent than I thought I was. I'm much more introverted than I thought I was. I actually used to always be out, always. And you know, in retrospect, I look at it and I was like collecting people because I didn't want to feel alone. And now, you know, I have more time to myself. It's built more confidence in me. And I have this ability to navigate the world with sort of a quiet confidence, I think, in a way that most people who have like spent time with themselves and, you know, wake up every weekend recovering and they get enough sleep and they get good food and all that, they develop, you know? And this is something that really showed me who I am. And I've kind of reverted back to who I was when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, my self-concept was so pure and so strong. I used to be able to hang out in my room. You know, when you're like 8 or 7 and you can just kick it with yourself and you just do whatever. Like I remember just hanging out in my room. I would listen to Harry Potter on tape. I would sit there and like clean my room, and that was like fun for me. You know, and now I've reverted back to that person. Like I love doing that kind of stuff. It's fun. And I don't feel a sense of anxiety. I don't feel like I need to be there. There's like addiction to being everywhere. There's a quiet confidence. I know I'm good. I'm secure. And that never existed in me ever when I was drinking. It was before I started drinking, so when I was 14 and younger, and then there's a clear block of time, 14 to 26, that I'd lost it. And then 26 to 31 where I am now, and I found it. And it's everything. It's incredible. And the last point, the 8th point, is that I don't have hardly any anxiety. Like I was saying before, I genuinely used to think that I just had an anxious personality. I would be on antidepressants. Like I went to college, I dropped out because I was miserable. I was so anxious. I was on Prozac for 10 years. I was so lonely and isolated and all these things. And there were other things going on for sure. It wasn't just drinking at all. But when I decided to stop drinking, suddenly it was like my ability to raise my own vibration, my own mindset, my own well-being snapped into place. And I was exactly who I am now and who I was as a kid. At this point in my life, I just want to spend time alone. Like I used to not be able to handle that, dude. I wasn't able to just like exist and not feel anxious. And now it's like the solitude is like a gift. It really is. I can go and be by myself, and I really enjoy being by myself. And it's not this anxiety of like, oh, like, I don't know, I need to be around people all the time, which I used to feel like. So no anxiety. My personality is not anxious. I think many people out there actually don't have anxious personalities, but the substances that they're consuming make them anxious. So hopefully this gave any perspective if you were looking for it. I know this was a lot of information. I'd be so curious to hear your thoughts, to hear your perspective on this. If you can relate, you know, if you've had a similar, you know, realizations. Again, it's no judgment for people that drink. And I genuinely mean that because I don't actually care if people drink or not, but it's a matter of knowing if you are the person who should be drinking or not. I am not somebody who should drink. If my best friend drinks, cool, that's good for them. That's not me. So anyways, guys, I hope you like this. Please subscribe if you're into this kind of stuff. I talk about life hacks. This is the ultimate life hack. Human optimization, exploration, like space, all the crazy things going on out there. Go ahead and subscribe, like, comment below, and I will see you guys on the next one. See ya.